Chihiro is a pathetic little shit who has a zombie fetish, but everything changes when he meets a girl with daddy issues who turned herself into a zombie so she can have his babies. Chihiro lodges in a temple belonging to his family where his grandpa Jagru looks like Yoda, his dad, Dune, is the head priest, and his sister Mero is a normal sister without any degeneracy attached to her. Chihiro's mother is dead like all the classic moms, and he doesn't really remember her. The family has a cat named Babu, and one day Truck-kun takes the cat to an isekai. Then, Chihiro gets depressed about losing his cat and gets an idea inspired by Fullmetal Alchemist. He opens a secret document he found a year before, and inside it is the art of resurrection. Then he digs his cat from its grave and takes it to an abandoned building to perform the resurrection. On the second day he's there, a girl named Ria, who looks like a cute Savako, shows up and starts screaming to a well, and Chihiro just watches. Later, his friend vents to him about the Senka Girls Academy next door, where the girls take a different route from their school, and he is pissed that he doesn't get the chance to creep on them. He tells them that a beauty just enrolled in the girls' academy, and he points her out to Chihiro. He looks over to see Ria and her long black hair, but Chihiro acts all Sigma and doesn't care about no bitches. Later at home, Chihiro's hot cousin, Ranko, delivers a package and asks Dune about Chihiro. Ranko goes to Chihiro's room and returns a zombie DVD that she borrowed from Chihiro, but he doesn't remember ever lending it to her. Ranko gets pissed and violates Chihiro by using her melons. Then, Chihiro asks Ranko about Ria and what she's like as a person, which makes Ranko jealous. Later at night, Chihiro continues his ritual at the abandoned building, and he faces some issues as one of the pages is completely burned off. It says to use a poisonous plant, but he doesn't know which one. Chihiro starts thinking about giving up, and suddenly Ria shows up again to the well and starts screaming. Chihiro watches with his drink as Ria screams out that her daddy is a creep who takes creepy pictures of her on every birthday to record her growth. Chihiro drops his drink in shock, and Ria realizes he's been watching her. Then, they sit together in silence, and Ria begs him to not tell anyone about what he saw today. Chihiro blushes, seeing her melons, and reveals that he also saw what she did the day before. Ria starts crying and wishes that she die and be reborn as another person. Later, Chihiro tells her what he's doing there in the first place, and Ria is in shock to know that he's there to resurrect his cat into a zombie. Ria supports Chihiro for wanting to see his cat alive again, while swaying her melons around, and tells him that she wants to help his pet project. Then she asks Chihiro if he has a girlfriend, and he responds by saying he's a Sigma, who doesn't need any living hosts as he's only interested in zombies. Instead of being freaked out, Ria rizzes him by saying that she will turn into a zombie just for him. Chihiro is flustered, and Ria leaves to go home, but not before telling him that she will come back again. The next day, Ria hangs out with Chihiro while watching his zombie movie collection. Chihiro can't believe that a classy girl like her is growing interested in watching zombies eating out people's brains. He asks her to help him more, and she obliges. They start working together, but Chihiro wants to give up as he can't figure out which poisonous plant to use. He feels that he already used all the poisonous plants in the area, but Ria has an idea of one more plant. She runs to get them and slips, which shows her glorious panties to Chihiro. A few years ago, Ria started seeing her father's creepy behavior when he fired a maid for being nice to her on her birthday. Then, she played with a stray cat while her maids watched over her. And then the father fired all the maids and the cat never came back. She was always left with her hot piece of mother, Ria, who treated her coldly. Then her father starts taking degenerate pictures of her on her birth date in his dungeon, and Ria realizes that it wasn't normal. She starts feeling uncomfortable, and her father's goons keep watching over her, even in school. A schoolgirl realizes that Ria looks depressed, but Ria hides it from her, and that girl becomes her first ever friend. Ria holds a mindset that everyone is facing hardships behind her smiles. But Ria starts changing her mindset after hanging out with her friend, and realizes that her life is just shit. Then Ria opens up about her father to her friend, and her friend tells her that their daddy is a creep and should chop his own balls. She encourages Ria to speak up against her father, and later Ria regrets ever opening up to her. Back in the present, Chihiro worries that Ria still hasn't come back. He goes to look for her and finds her struggling to climb over a tall rock, disappointing all the Uncharted fans out there. She slits and Chihiro saves her from death. Then she explains that she was in that position after finding a plant near the bottom of the cliff. She tells him that she's now worried because Chihiro would just bring her back to life as a zombie, but Chihiro calls her an idiot as he is a shit alchemist. Ria tells Chihiro that he has to resurrect her if anything bad happens. A few years ago, Ria tried to reject her father's weird picture ritual and asked for a normal relationship with her father. Daddy realizes that someone told her to do this, and he poisons her mind by saying that his love is not wrong. Later, her friend transfers to another school and Ria knows that it's her father's doing. She runs to her friend's house and the friend starts blaming Ria for what happened to her family and wishes that they were never friends in the first place. Later, the father threatens Ria from ever telling others about what is happening, and he continues the ritual. He tells her to take her clothes off, and she follows to prevent others from getting hurt. Back in the present, Ria encourages Chihiro to use the poisonous plant, hydrangea leaves she found for today's attempt. Then, Chihiro starts mixing random shit, and ends up with a drink that looks like Barney the dinosaur's piss. He pours the drink into Babu's mouth, and Babu doesn't wake up. Later, Ria encourages Chihiro to keep going, but he refuses her idea as he can't stand forcing Babu to go through his selfish experiments anymore. He asks Ria to bury Babu tomorrow with him, and Ria is sad that they won't be meeting anymore. Ria walks away limping and Chihiro notices it. He lifts her up like a true Chad and puts her on his bike. She falls to the reeds and wishes that she can die and be reborn to be free. Then, Chihiro drops Ria off far from her house as she doesn't want his father to find out, and feels the romantic tension with Chihiro when she returns Babu to him. They part ways and Ria's father watches Chihiro using a scope. Ria sneaks into her mansion and her father slaps her after finding out. At the temple, Ranko is taking a bath and greets Chihiro while her melons are out. She demands Chihiro to explain where you went to every night. Chihiro tries to lie but his little sister Mero has snitched on him to Ranko. Ranko sees the cooler box and opens it. Suddenly, Babu jumps out from it and flies to the moon, meaning his experiment is successful. Meanwhile, Ria is stuck in a ruin and apologizes as she can't attend Babu's funeral. She pulls on a small container with the purple juice inside it and drinks it, so she can die to the poisonous plant in the drink. Ria starts getting high on the purple juice and imagines her father terrorizing her. Then she wakes up and is upset that she didn't die. She prepares herself mentally and goes to meet her parents. Her mother, Arita, starts being a bitch and tells Ria that her actions are destroying her reputation as the headmaster of the girls' academy. Arya walks away and the father apologizes to Ria for slapping her. Ria starts being submissive, and the father starts being creepy and starts touching her face like he's from Alabama. He tells her to change from her school uniform, as she will be homeschooled for the time being. Then Ria leaves and listens in on her father and his goon. They talk about Chihiro and how they have tracked him down. They plan to chop his balls and Ria starts panicking. Meanwhile, Chihiro is trying to get Babu off a tree while Ranko and Mero are calling him an idiot for resurrecting the cat. He tries to convince Ranko that it's a good thing and Ranko folds, seeing his hopeful expression. On the tree, Babu looks like he's been through some shit, but Chihiro is convinced that it's still his cat. Chihiro starts dancing like an idiot but Ranko feels uneasy about the cat. She warns Chihiro that Babu might grow a liking to human meat and attack them like a zombie and infect them. Then Babu runs away with inhuman speed and Chihiro and Ranko chase him. They get close to Babu, but the Dan cat keeps dodging their attempts to catch him. They keep following him and Chihiro tells Ranko to leave, but she refuses as a good loving cousin. Then Babu enters a sewer hole and Chihiro jumps in to get him. Meanwhile, Rhea is sneaking out of her mansion, and her mother sees her. The hot mama is drunk and offers the father to tickle his pickle, but he walks away, not caring about her. Inside the sewer, Chihiro and Ranko are crawling and Ranko's big cheeks get stuck like a classic stepsister. She calls out for Chihiro to help her, but he just keeps crawling to get Babu. Chihiro makes it out and ends up at the abandoned building. At school, Chihiro's buddies are having some manly fun, playing with each other's manly melons when Rhea arrives, asking them about Chihiro. They tell her that he's not here and Yasutaka starts humping the fence as they can't believe a wimp like Chihiro is pulling a baddie like Rhea. Then Rhea walks away to find Chihiro, but her father's goons are following her and reporting her location to her weird and messed up father. Then Rhea goes to the abandoned building where Chihiro is still looking for Babu. He finds Babu turning vegan and eating the poisonous leaves. Chihiro realizes where he's standing, and it's the place where Rhea risked her life to get the ingredients for the purple juice. Suddenly, he sees Rhea walking near a cliff, and her father suddenly pops up and confronts her. The father creepily asks Rhea to come home, but she slaps his hand and refuses. She tells the old man that she doesn't belong to him and demands freedom. Her father asks her for an explanation, and starts looking at his own daughter's thighs like a creep. Then the father pulls Rhea's hand to force her to go home, but Babu shows up and scares the father as he is allergic. Rhea realizes that it's Babu, and she can't believe that the purple juice worked. Suddenly the father pulls out a whip and goes to hit Babu, but ends up hitting Rhea, instead causing her to fall from a cliff. She sees Chihiro there for the last time and gets stabbed by a tree. Chihiro can't believe it's seeing Ria with blood all over her guts, and the anime gods make it rain to make it extra dramatic. He walks to her lifeless body and begs her to come back to life. Babu starts licking her bloody finger and moves. Suddenly, Ria gets up calling Chihiro's name with her intestines out of her gut, and Chihiro can't believe it. She hugs him and asks him to take responsibility for making her a zombie. The next day, Ria's dipshit father has a nightmare of her daughter, leaving him after she died, getting her stomach torn off. He sees her with her guts out, and she walks away as a zombie. He wakes up in a bathtub alongside his daughter's photos. Meanwhile, the maids gossip about Ria meeting a boy and running away from home. The mother, Arita, shows up drunk and demands the maids to tell her what happened. They tell Arita that the father told them that Ria has run away from home. Arita goes to her husband and the maids start talking shit about Arita and how she likes getting bent over by other dudes as she doesn't get her husband's attention anymore. Arita barges into the bathroom and the father, Danichiro, tells her that Ria has died but stands back up and leaves. Arita asks where could Ria run off to, and one of their goons snitches as she ran off to a boy named Chihiro. The father starts malfunctioning and declares war on Chihiro for taking his daughter's love away from him. Meanwhile, Ria is at Chihiro's house sewing her own wounds like it's nothing. Ria feels no pain as she is now a zombie, and she's happy about it. Chihiro tries to make her see the bullshit that is happening as she is dead, but still walking around normally. He asks Ria why she's so happy and Ria rizzes him by saying that it's her first time in a boys' room. Meanwhile, Ranko has just finished her tennis practice, and she is pissed that Chihiro left her stuck on the tunnel and did not treat her like a classic stepsister. At the temple, Chihiro is creeping at Ria's pale body, while wondering if she's gonna start living with him forever. Chihiro looks at Babu and realizes that his pupils are back. Chihiro and Ria watch over Babu like proud parents, and Ria is able to tell what Babu is thinking, which makes Chihiro wonder if zombies have special connections with each other. He wonders why Ria's behavior didn't change as a zombie, and she catches him staring at her and asks if he wants her to act more zombie-like. Ria starts acting like a cute zombie and Chihiro blushes. Then Ria tells Chihiro to take responsibility and take her on dates so she can experience the life of a normal girl she never had. Chihiro folds, seeing her reaction, and she uses her zombie strength to push into him and kiss him. Suddenly, Ranko pops up outside and cucks them. Ranko wants to get into his room, but he tells her to wait outside so Ria won't get caught. Chihiro leaves and Ria starts questioning what she was about to do to Chihiro earlier. Then, Chihiro apologizes to Ranko for leaving her stuck, and she starts violating him. She asks him about Babu's condition, but his friends, Yasutaka and Moji, show up before he answers. Yasutaka begs Chihiro to introduce him to Ria, and Ranko gets jealous knowing that Chihiro knows the beautiful Ria. Suddenly, Chihiro realizes that his dreams just came true with Ria being a zombie, and is now in his room. Meanwhile, Ria is still in this room and gets jealous of Ranko for being so close to Chihiro that she goes downstairs and takes a bath in Chihiro's house. She looks around the bathroom and finds a long and squishy sponge. She starts violating the sponge between her melons when suddenly the grandpa walks in. The old man starts humping Ria, thinking she's someone else, and Ria throws his old midget ass away before running back to Chihiro's room. Then, Meru comes home and the grandpa tells her about meeting her old fling in the bathroom. In the room, Ria feels happy about the massive switch in her life and achieving the freedom that she always wanted. Then Chihiro comes home to her sister cooking, but he goes straight to his room. He finds Ria on the floor without clothes, and she tells him that she just took a shower. Suddenly, Chihiro starts folding about her being a zombie and starts asking her questions about herself as a zombie. Then Ria tells Chihiro that she can move and her body is hardening, so Chihiro touches her body and realizes that she is experiencing rigor mortis. Chihiro starts using his head to figure out how to counter this, as Ria's body will rot away and turn into a skeleton within a month. He lays Ria on his bed and is now determined to preserve her body so he can fulfill her dream of being a normal girl. He looks at Ria sleeping and leaves to sleep at the temple to clear his mind. The next day, he asks her sister, Meru, about a book on preserving corpses. She tells him that she lent the book to a classmate and asks Chihiro why he wants it. Chihiro leaves without answering, and she knows something is wrong. Later, he plans to use formalin and leaves a sign in front of his room, preventing anyone from entering. His father, Dune, asked for his children to come down, so Chihiro moves Ria to his closet so no one will see her. He carries Ria while trying not to look at her melons and slips to one of his DVDs. He ends up with Ria's soft body on top of him and starts folding. His father calls him again, and Chihiro hurries up and puts Ria in his closet. Chihiro tells the sleeping Ria to wait for him, and her stomach starts growling. He realizes that she's hungry and promises to bring her food later. Then, Chihiro eats breakfast with his family, and everything goes normally. But he starts remembering Ria. Chihiro starts asking some philosophical bullshit, and Nero notices that Chihiro has become weird. Meanwhile, Ranko is thinking about Ria when her junior Shino pops out from a bush and tells her that Ria didn't come to school that day. Ranko walks away and Shino starts glazing Ria and talks about how she's the school's idol and how everyone wants to lick her feet. Shino is worried since Ria looks sadder by the day before being absent, and she shows Ria's pictures to Ranko. But Ranko doesn't give a shit. Shino adds that Ria's maid seems to be on edge and wonders if something happened to Ria, but Ranko has enough of her simping and walks away. The next day, Chihiro and his family clean the temple since it's a day off. Dune confronts Chihiro about his new cat, but Chihiro tells his father that Babu has come back to life. The grandpa confirms Chihiro's statement, and they both laugh like maniacs. Then the grandpa puts credit on his resurrection juice and Chihiro realizes that the resurrection juice he made was his grandpa's recipe. The grandpa licks him like a dog and walks away. Chihiro tries to chase him, but his daddy stops him and tells Chihiro to stop bitching around and clean a damn temple. Then Chihiro continues cleaning and he starts thinking that his grandpa had the recipe to preserve corpses. Suddenly, Meru comes to him and tells him that she wants to clean his room since it smells of his juices. After he beats his meat, Chihiro tells her to not do it since Ria is there, and she grows curious about her own brother. Then Ranko comes bringing lunch and the father. Dune tells Ranko that she should go full Alabama and marry her cousin, Chihiro. Later, Ranko informs Chihiro that Ria's family is in panic after she ran away while Chihiro pretends that he doesn't know shit. Ranko starts imagining a cheesy story of how Ria ran away to clap some random guy's cheeks and Chihiro imagines the guy is him. Ranko asks Chihiro about him being close with Ria and Chihiro bullshits his way out of her questions. Ranko leaves but turns back, wanting to borrow Chihiro's zombie DVD. She goes into his room and is surprised to see his air conditioner being on. Then she looks for the perfect movie and Ria is watching her from the closet. Ranko sees a long black hair on the floor and notices something in the closet. She opens it, and it turns out to be empty as Ria is hiding above her. Ria feels hungry and jumps to Ranko to eat her. Ria pushes her down and starts violating her jugs to see how plump it is. Ranko pushes Ria back with all her might, and notices that she's bleeding but doesn't react to it, which makes her realize that she's a zombie. Ria tears Ranko's clothes apart, and she screams loudly, which Chihiro hears. He runs to his room and sees Ria licking Ranko's jugs, and she's enjoying it. Chihiro pulls Ria back and she starts malfunctioning with love in her eyes before jumping at Chihiro to kiss him. She puts her tongue in his throat and holds onto him, so he won't let go while Ranko is watching the whole thing. Inside Chihiro's fantasy, his degenerate romantic dream has finally become a reality as now he has Ria as a zombie. Wanting to devour his meat, Ria lets go of the kiss and Ranko demands Chihiro to explain to her what is going on. Ranko looks at Ria and realizes she's a zombie and starts accusing Chihiro of murdering her for his zombie baby mama fantasy. At the roof, Babu pops up and Ria jumps off the window to follow him. Chihiro notices Ria chasing Babu around like she's a fellow cat and tells Ranko to get his grandpa. Chihiro jumps to the roof and his dad asks him what on earth is he doing and Chihiro makes some excuse up. Then Ria and Babu disappear and Chihiro looks for them and finds them eating the poisonous leaves from the garden. Suddenly, Ria turns back to normal after eating the leaves and her towel falls off with her, not remembering anything that just happened. Chihiro concludes that by eating the poisonous leaves hydrangea, the zombies come back to their senses. He tells Ria that he got it figured out, and his grandpa pops out while riding Ranko, telling Chihiro that his resurrection elixir is a success. He warns Chihiro that the elixir is not perfect, and the zombies will gradually fade away and turn into corpses. Ranko has enough and tries to get the creepy old man off from giving her nasty backshots, while he tells Chihiro the recipe to keep the zombie's body healthy. Chihiro concludes that he can keep the zombies healthy as long as there's the poisonous plant hydrangea. But the old man tells Chihiro that the elixir is not perfect and can't stop the zombies from decaying. Ranko throws a brick at the old man's head, and he goes back to being a senile idiot. But Chihiro is relieved that he gets a lot of information beforehand. His father Dune asks Chihiro who Ria is, and he explains it to him. Then, Chihiro asks his dad to let Ria stay at their house, as she doesn't have a place to go. Dune starts thinking and agrees to his son's request, being proud that his son is not a wimp who can't pull bitches, while Ranko is jealous of her zombie rival. Later, Chihiro starts a diary to record and track Ria, while figuring out a way to preserve her body. Ria shows up and asks if it's okay for them to share a room and Chihiro pulls out his big boy pants and tells her it's all good as they have kissed anyway. Ria starts freaking out as she doesn't remember about their kiss and Mero is listening to the whole thing. Mero starts writing in her room and feels proud that her brother has finally grown some balls. Later, Chihiro starts filming Ria to keep track of her condition as a zombie and Ria gets embarrassed, while Chihiro doubles down and gets closer to film more of her plots. Later they have dinner and Chihiro's family tells him to get Ria to join them in eating. But Chihiro is worried that she can't enjoy normal food. Then Ranko comes to the temple and gives Chihiro women underwear for Ria, and Chihiro tells Ranko that he and Ria are not a thing. Chihiro goes to his room to see Ria and Babu eating the poisonous leaves, and it makes him depressed as they both have gone through tragedy. Then Chihiro takes Ria out on a walk and Ria's father's Kum is following them. Ria tells Chihiro that the reality of her being dead has just kicked in, but she feels blessed to be a zombie who has her freedom. Chihiro in his heart feels awful as Ria will end up rotting in the end, and she resists him and tells him to be kind to her body. Chihiro folds and asks her to go back home. He starts thinking of ways that he can preserve Ria's body, and a car almost sends him to an isekai. But Ria pushes him to safety with her zombie strength. Chihiro starts hurting due to the impact, and Ria starts licking his wounds, which makes him feel all tingly. Across the street, someone is watching them. Meanwhile, Ranko is walking home, thinking why Chihiro told her that he and Ria are not a thing. A couple of kids run past her, and it reminds her of her past. The next day, Ranko is working at her family restaurant and Chihiro is there helping out, peeling potatoes like a peasant. Then Ranko's mother comes in and starts playing matchmaker, telling Chihiro to go ahead and start making babies with her daughter. Ranko slips and Chihiro saves her in a classic K-drama way. Ranko folds while he holds her hand and complains when he lets go. Years ago, Ranko met Chihiro in a graveyard, where he saved her while she was scared shitless. Then they're introduced at the temple like both of their parents, and Ranko is determined to be Chihiro's friend. They watch some zombie movies and Ranko screams in fear while Chihiro smiles like an idiot watching the movie. Ranko runs away scared but goes back in to ask Chihiro to play outside instead. He refuses and she turns off the TV to force him out. Then they walk together where Ranko asks Chihiro about his hobbies and all he answers is that he loves zombies and their sweet rotten cheeks. Then they go to the park and Chihiro starts digging holes to find corpses and Ranko is seriously worried about his head. A group of kids walk by and start roasting Chihiro for playing with pearls. Ranko stands up to the little bastards, and Chihiro runs away crying like a little loser. Later, by the time Ranko goes home, she already has the ick and loses all interest in Chihiro. Ranko's mother tells her to say goodbye to Chihiro, and she refuses to say anything to that loser. Back to the present, Chihiro and Ranko are delivering food to customers and Chihiro keeps bitching. His daddy pops up and tells his son to stop being a bitch and praises Ranko and her work ethic. Then, they go to other houses to deliver food and Chihiro tells Ranko that he wants to go home quickly, as he is worried about Ria. Ranko teases him about Ria's sweet zombie cheeks, and Chihiro's friends pop out thinking they're on a date. Chihiro rejects the idea and Ranko is offended that a loser like Chihiro would hate the idea of dating her. His friend, Yasutaka, starts malfunctioning, wondering how a dipshit with a zombie fetish could bag two hotties like Ria and Ranko. The wind blows on Ranko, and she remembers the past when she got to meet Chihiro again for the second time. Years ago, Ranko and her family moved their restaurant and started living next door to Chihiro's temple. Chihiro comes to her house often, and she doesn't mind, as she wants to get closer to her cousin. She keeps inviting Chihiro to play with her, but he declines and prefers reading about zombies. Ranko's mother comes in and starts caressing his head, as she has a soft spot for Chihiro. Her mother keeps trying to make Ranko befriend Chihiro, which makes her depressed. Later, her mother tells Ranko to not ignore Chihiro and taken to the video store to rent some animes. Then they arrive and Chihiro goes straight to the zombie movies. Suddenly a zombie pulls up and Ranko shits her pants, but it turns out to be the storekeeper wearing a mask. He offers Chihiro a more hardcore zombie film and tells him to not tell his parents about it. Then they walk home and Ranko tells Chihiro that she doesn't enjoy horror films, but Chihiro selfishly doesn't care. Ranko runs in front of him and tells the little zombie-loving piece of shit that she wants to watch anime and takes the zombie movie from his hand to return it. She runs back to the video store and Chihiro chases her. They run into a scary dog and Chihiro dips, leaving Ranko to the dog. Chihiro turns back and saves Ranko from the dog while crying like a little bitch. Ranko folds to his manliness and they both start crying. Then they hold hands and walk home together. At home, they watch zombie movies and Ranko asks Chihiro what he wants his first kiss like. She starts giving him romantic scenarios, but Chihiro tells her that he wants to put his tongue inside the zombie's throat. Back in the present, Ranko asks Chihiro to hold her hand while delivering the food. She asks him if he remembers when they first held hands, and Chihiro remembers every detail, which raises Ranko. Then they finish their deliveries and Chihiro gets excited to go home to Ria, which upsets Ranko. She grabs his hand and pushes into a wall. Ranko goes for the kiss, but Chihiro acts like a loser and avoids it, which angers Ranko to run away. Then Ranko keeps running while the image of Chihiro kissing Ria is in her head and declares to the world that she won't lose Chihiro to that zombie bitch. Meanwhile, Chihiro is having dinner with his family and Ria is joining them. Even during dinner, Chihiro keeps filming with Ria and his family is worried that he might be filming for all Myfins. Ria only eats the poisonous plants, and Dune thinks that she's a vegetarian. Later, Chihiro continues to write down in his diary about Ria and how she doesn't sleep, sweat, or piss. He adds that Ria needs to eat the poisonous leaves every few hours, and the same goes for Babu. Babu jumps into the room and Kasab leaves like a hairball, and Chihiro wonders if Ria would do the same as he wants to film her choking on hairballs. He keeps filming and Ria asks Chihiro to fulfill a request, which is for her to go and do normal girl activities. The next day, they go to a mall where Ria tries on some clothes, but Chihiro packs no rees and doesn't compliment her at all. Chihiro acts as his sugar daddy and uses his allowance to buy her clothes, and she gladly spends his money. He continues filming her, and he folds to her happiness as she never experienced this before. Meanwhile, Ranko is taking a hot bath with her fat Nellens out, and she starts remembering her declaration of war against the zombie bitch. Then she starts thinking about Chihiro letting Ria live with him, and gets jealous as she wants to be in her position playing baby mama to Chihiro. Suddenly, Meru shows up with her friends and she tells Ranko that Chihiro is on a shopping date with Ria, which makes Ranko jealous. At the mall, Ria has finished shopping and Chihiro folds to her new looks. Behind them are Ria's father's goons tailing them and reporting back to the creepy bastard. The father tells his goons to make their move once Ria is all alone. Then, Chihiro and Ria visit a haunted house, and Chihiro is scared shitless in there. Then Ria starts teasing him like a little bitch who's scared of Casper, but she appreciates him for going in for her. Chihiro gets rizzed and pulls out new clothes that he picked for Ria, and she starts crying tears of happiness that someone like Chihiro cares for her. She tells him that zombies don't drop tears like bitch-ass humans when they cry, and that she wants to teach him more about zombies. Meanwhile, Ria's daddy is monologuing about freedom like an idiot, thinking he's Eren Jaeger as he wants Ria to come back to his arms. Afterward, Ria gets hungry and Chihiro leaves to get some food for himself. The goons make their move while Ria is eating leaves. Some creepy dude approaches her from the back, and it turns out to be Chihiro's dumb friend, Yasudaka, who tries to race her but at the same time saves her from the goons. Yasudaka pulls her somewhere else and the goons follow them. He takes Ria outside for some sunlight, but she can't face the sunlight as a zombie. The goons see their chance and take it to kidnap Ria and knock out Yasudaka's idiot ass. Ria starts fighting back with her zombie strength while Chihiro's looking for her. He hears Ria's scream and runs to her, just to see that Ria has completely made the goons her bitches. Ria sees Chihiro, and he comforts her, all wondering what in the shit is going on. Chihiro goes to interrogate one of the goons but gets kidnapped by the others. Ria tries to chase them, but Yasutaka's stupid simp ass holds her legs like an idiot. The goons take Chihiro to a car and Ria is too late. They report back to the father and he tells the goons to take Chihiro back to him so he can chop his balls off. At the temple, Meru is monologuing to herself about how she does all the chores like a single mother, and she feels suspicious of Ria. She wants her story to be told alongside the story of how Chihiro just got kidnapped. A few days ago, Dune comes and asks Meru to prepare for dinner as Chihiro will be out with Ria. He feels proud that Chihiro is responsible for caring for his zombie baby mama. Later, Meru sees Chihiro channeling his inner Jimmy Neutron, and she thinks that it's the first time that her brother is giving it his all for someone else's sake. The next day, Meru's friend, Shinoda, informs Meru that World War Z has started with zombies suddenly showing up on Earth. Meru's other friend, Miko, calls bullshit, and Shinoda believes her as she thinks it's the work of the government. They start gossiping that their art teacher is a zombie as Shinoda sees her feeding something raw meat and eating it herself. Meru adds that she saw her teacher bringing something moving in her bag. They keep adding fuel to the gossip and conclude that the teacher is a zombie, and they want to find evidence to prove it. Later, they sneak into her classroom and see her feeding raw meat to something inside her bag. They start getting excited and drop a statue, revealing their position. Later, they find out it's an alligator that was in her bag, while the teacher drives them home. The teacher tells them she refuses to leave her pet behind, out of fear that it will escape. Miko asks the teacher why she looks skinnier, and she explains that she got hungry and ate one of the liver like an idiot and got food poisoning. The next day, Miko tells her friends that she smelled something strange on the way home that smelled like a boiling corpse. She then peeked inside and saw bloody bones before getting caught. It turns out it was just people cooking up ramen and thinking they were in food wars, making weird food combinations with an awful smell. Miko goes for the bite, and it turns out that it tastes like a Michelin star food. Later, Shinoda gets frustrated as she wants to find a zombie, and Mero tells her that a zombie is at her home right now. Shinoda gets excited, but Mero tells her that the zombie is out of the house and should be left alone. Mero explains that her zombie is a vegetarian from her brother's information. Shinoda starts roasting Chihiro for being a delusional degenerate who has a zombie fetish, and that his mom should raise a better son. Mako tells Shinoda to shut her mouth as Mero's mom is already dead, but Mero is not bothered by it. Mero was never close with her mom, but she remembers a memory of her mother's hand being all bandaged up. Then Mero goes to her mother's grave, leaves some fruit for her, and prays for her. Suddenly, Ria pops out to accompany her and tells her that she's worried that she might be a burden to Chihiro and everyone around him. Ria asks Mero what she was doing, and Mero tells her that she was paying her respects to her dead mother, which surprises Ria. Then Ria praises Mero for being mature, for being the mom of the house, and offers to help her with the chores. Mero remembers her mother by seeing Ria and gets rizzed by her words. Ria holds Mero's head and is surprised by how cold she is. Ria tells Mero that she's a zombie, which unlocks a memory of her mom. Mero calls Ria mama and runs away and slips. Later, Ria puts a bandage on her, and Mero wonders why she called her mama. The next day, Mero shows Ria's picture to her friends, and they call bullshit as she's too pretty to be a zombie. At Ria's mansion, Chihiro is tied up and held after getting kidnapped. He tries to get out of the chair, and Ria's hot mom, Aria, comes in after getting annoyed by him struggling. She asks Chihiro if he had laid the pipe on her daughter, and she starts roasting her smelly zombie daughter before laughing like a maniac. Chihiro takes offense over Aria talking shit at her own daughter, but Aria tells him that she's Ria's stepmom and Danichiru's second wife. Aria adds that she was once a maid at the mansion, as all the maids were once candidates to be Danichiru's wife before Ria was born. Then she tells the story of how the maids have been targeting Danichiro since he was younger, but he was a Sigma who was not interested in hoes. Aria became a maid when Danichiru at college, and she's confident that Danichiru would prefer her sweet cheeks over other maids' flat backs. Then she brought some coffee to Danichiru's office, and he was impressed that she knew he wanted coffee without him telling her. He starts calling Aria regularly, and she takes his chance to sway him with her soft touches. But Danichiru still doesn't simp. After months of trying, Aria suspects that Danichiru prefers sausages over kitties. Suddenly, everything changed during a fencing tournament in the mansion, and Danichiru was participating. He won the fight, but got frustrated as he thought that his opponent was holding back. After the event, a girl in a wheelchair approaches him and tells him to stop being a spoiled prick who is mean to his opponents. Days later, he proposed to that sick girl and made her his wife. Afterward, his family disagrees with his decision to marry the sick girl, and he is willing to let go of his status and family fortune just to marry her. His family calls him an idiot and calls the sick girl vegetable on wheels, which pisses off Danichiru to put his family in their place as filthy peasants. Then he married the sick girl, and she died not long after giving birth to Ria. Danichiru gets depressed and refuses to eat, while Aria refuses to give up and takes care of him till he's healthy. Then, Aria marries him and basks in all her glory. But after years of marriage, he never laid the pipe on Aria, as he only saw her as a mother to Ria. Later, Danichiru only spends his time with Ria, while leaving Aria lonely without a man's touch. She tried to take him on a vacation alone, but all he thought of was for Ria to join them to experience the outer world. Then the three of them go on a cruise ship where Aria is third-wheeling Ria and his daddy, and she doesn't get any love from her husband. But one day, Danichiru's butler tells Aria to give up on getting a piece of her husband's meat and shows her the horrible truth. He shows her a peeking hole, and what Aria saw was Danichiru being a creepy father to Ria, taking freaky pictures of her. Aria falls to her knees and gets her soul ripped off with every picture taken by her messed up husband. Aria tells Chihiro that she feels sick imagining Ria as her daughter and starts undressing for Chihiro. She rubs his face with her melons, hoping that he will show him what a man feels like after a long time. Aria goes for the kiss, but Chihiro dodges and causes them both to fall as he's only interested in zombies, which causes Aria to start crying. Suddenly, Babu pops up and Aria starts comforting it until Chihiro tells her that the cat is also a zombie. Then a maid comes in and tells Chihiro that Big Daddy Danichiru wants to meet him, which makes Aria jealous as she never got his attention. Meanwhile, Ria is on her way to save her baby daddy, Chihiro, from her father. Then the maid carries Chihiro to a dark room, and it turns out to be a gallery filled with Ria's pictures. with Danichiro waiting for him. Danichiro starts monologuing about her beautiful daughter like a freak and thanks Chihiro for saving his daughter and giving him a chance to love her daughter even deeper. Afterward, the maid carries Chihiro following Danichiro, and Chihiro starts worrying about his fate. They arrive at a fencing dojo and Danichiro tells Chihiro to equip himself with weapons and armor. The father wants a duel against Chihiro to determine who is worthy of Ria's cheeks. Meanwhile, Ria arrives at her mansion and demands to meet her father. The maids start bullshitting and put Ria in a trap. Meanwhile, one of the maids informs Aria that Ria is captured, but Aria doesn't give a shit. The maids put Ria in a dungeon and plan to take advantage of the situation to violate Ria without her daddy knowing. They put Ria in a maid costume and start fangirling over her cuteness. Ria gets angry, which fuels their degeneracy even more to put her in more embarrassing clothing. In the dojo, Danichiro tells Chihiro that if he manages to land one hit on him, Ria will be his. But Chihiro feels that he's at a disadvantage as he knows nothing about self-defense. Danichiro starts roasting Chihiro's knowledge to defend himself and Ria, but Chihiro turns the table roasting the old man. In the dungeon, they continue the torture and put Ria in a bunny costume. Ria refuses to wear any more clothes and uses her zombie power to break free. Back at the dojo, Chihiro tells the old man that he's a creep and he should start beating his own meat rather than being a freak to his own daughter. Chihiro starts preaching like Naruto, trying to get Danichiro to realize what he's doing is wrong, but he doesn't take the kid's bullshit and stabs him. Ria walks in to see her baby daddy getting stabbed by her real daddy, but Chihiro awakens his plot armor and headbutts the old freak. Chihiro sees Ria in her bunny outfit and starts folding, not caring about the sword in his gut. Danichiro gets up and demands Chihiro to explain how he is still alive, but Chihiro is as clueless as he is. Chihiro went all Sherlock Holmes and realized that when Ria licked his wounds from before, he had some of her poison inside him. Chihiro starts monologuing like a Chad and concludes that he is now a half-zombie. Danichiro can't believe it and goes to chop Chihiro's head, but Ria pulls the sword from Chihiro's gut and blocks her own father. She threatens her father that if he doesn't stop, then she will become his opponent. Then, Danichiro falls to his knees and asks Ria to move to America together to get the doctors to turn her back to normal, instead of staying with Chihiro and his broke ass. Ria tells her father that she's fine with her condition as it gives her the freedom she always desired and the chance to live with Chihiro. Danichiro still doesn't understand what Ria wants even with all the wealth and privilege she has, and Chihiro tells the old man that what Ria wanted was to be a normal girl who has a father who loves her normally and grants her wishes. Then, Danichiro realizes that he never lets Ria have her own wishes, denying her the opportunity to go out with friends and trapping her like a dog. Danichiro starts crying as he can't believe that his daughter died only to be a normal girl. Then, Chihiro tells Danichiro that he wants his help to make sure Ria stays with them. Danichiro gets up and asks his daughter if this is what she wants, and she answers yes. Then he bows down to Chihiro and tells him that he entrusts his daughter to him. While he goes overseas to find a cure, he approaches Chihiro and threatens him to keep his dirty hands from his daughter's kitty. Then, Danichiro leaves and Chihiro collapses to his wounds. Later, Danichiro flies overseas and leaves Japan. Meanwhile, Chihiro wakes up at home with Ria, Mero, and the maids tending his wounds. Chihiro concludes that the poison has exited his body as he now feels pain again. He sees Ria wearing a nurse's costume and folds to her zombie body. Suddenly, Renko barges in and pushes her melons on him while worrying about his condition. Ria apologizes as it's her fault and Renko demands Chihiro to explain why the zombie bitch is wearing a nurse's outfit. Renko introduces herself to Ria and tells her that she is Chihiro's original baby mama and a human, unlike her rotting zombie ass. Chihiro tries to defuse the situation, but Renko adds gas to the fire and reminds Chihiro that he promised her that he will marry her. Then Renko pulls Chihiro to her melons, and Ria realizes that Renko is in love with Chihiro. A few days later, reality kicks in and Chihiro realizes the responsibility that he carries now with freeing Ria from her father. At dinner, Dune notices that Ria is eating different food than theirs, and Mero tells her father that she could tranship in different ways just for Ria. Ria starts getting uncomfortable with the questions, and Dune apologizes for making her feel unwelcome. The grandpa starts going crazy, wanting to hump Ria, but Chihiro stops the old fart from doing anything. Later, Chihiro acknowledges that his family is very understanding despite how weird it is for Ria to stay at their house. Chihiro asks Ria to take a walk with him, and he tells her that he wishes that he could take her to see the world. She tells him that she's more than happy as it's more than what she gets back at home. Then, she sees a poster for a fireworks show and starts telling Chihiro how much she would like to see one. Chihiro gets the memo and asks Ria if she wants to go to one, and she gets excited to go. Then, Chihiro is still unable to find a way to preserve her body from rotting, and it stresses him out. Then, Mero asks Chihiro why Ria doesn't go to school, and Chihiro tells her that it's for her health, but Mero adds that Ria is actually jealous that they get to go to school and she doesn't. Mero asks Chihiro if Ria is gonna stay with them forever, and Chihiro starts feeling the weight of the situation. Afterward, the anime gons say screw you and start a rain that cancels the fireworks show. Ria tells Chihiro to take her next year if she's still there with him. The next day, Chihiro walks to school with his friends, where they keep talking about girls and how they wish they could sniff their panties. Ranko shows up and starts teasing Chihiro, which makes all the boys jealous of him. Then they talk about the fireworks festival, and Ranko tells Chihiro that she also wants to go there with him and proposes an idea to have their own little fireworks festival instead. Meanwhile, Riyadh is helping out with chores and Mero is begging her to stop. Then, Chihiro shows up and proposes their own fireworks festival, and both Ria and Mero are excited. Chihiro says that Ranko is also coming, and Ria starts getting worried about her love rival. Later, Ranko arrives in full yukata and folds seeing Chihiro in his attire. Then Ranko helps Ria put on her yukata, and Ria asks Ranko about Chihiro. Ranko tells Ria that Chihiro is precious to him, and she is surprised to see him excited at fireworks, and not just zombies, as it will make Ria happy. They finish putting Ria in yukata, and Ranko tells Ria that she looks nothing like a zombie. Ria starts some sad shit and tells Reiko that her body is slowly rotting. But Ranko starts sniffing her like a dog and tells her she smells normal. Ranko assures Ria that Chihiro will find a way to preserve her body and asks her where she will go after this. Ria doesn't know if she feels she will be a burden if she stays. Then, Ria asks Ranko if she likes Chihiro, and she says yes and asks Ria back about her feelings. Ria doesn't mind that Ranko and her big jugs get Chihiro to love her, but Ranko catches her bluff and tells her they're rivals to win Chihiro. Ranko spanks Ria's cheeks and tells her to stop holding back and tickle Chihiro's pickle, already as tomorrow, by not come for her as a zombie. Ranko tells Ria that it's okay for her to also like Chihiro, and to give it her all as her rival. Afterward, they start the fireworks and enjoy their moment together. Chihiro asks Ria if she's enjoying the show, even though the fireworks are small, and Ria tells him that she prefers the smaller ones to the big ones. She tells Chihiro that her times with him have been the best moments in her life. The next day, Ria goes back home to the mansion and informs the maids that she's here to grab her stuff and go back to school. The maids stitch on Ria to Area, and Area confronts Ria, telling her how big her balls are to dare enter her father's school again. Area tells Ria that she won't give her any help, and Ria is prepared for the worst. Area stops her from leaving but says nothing to Ria, while looking like she's got a million things to say deep down. Later, Chihiro picks Ria up in her mansion and they walk home together. Ria thanks Chihiro for letting her go back to school, as it's what a normal girl would do. Chihiro asks Ria to promise him that she will be careful, and she promises. Afterward, they both go to the abandoned building, and Chihiro confesses that he wants Ria to stay a zombie for as long as possible. Ria responds that she will do her best with the limited time she has. Chihiro realizes that his happiness won't last long, and suddenly, Ria starts getting a heart attack. She goes to Chihiro and chumps it in to bite him. Chihiro folds and enjoys her kinky bloody zombie kiss as they share their pain and happiness towards the future. The next day, Babu starts monologuing in human language about how zombies are real. Then Babu uses his cat privilege and peeks at Ria's peaches in the shower. She picks Babu up and changes his bandages. Babu feels grateful that his master, Chihiro, brought him back to life due to his zombie fetish. Then, Ria puts her bandages back on, and Chihiro gives Ria and Babu more hydrangea leaves to eat. Ria asks Chihiro for a walk, but he rejects her request as her body will stiffen up and rot when the sun is out. Then Chihiro puts ice in a jacket so Ria can go to school. They walk together, and Ria keeps making Chihiro worry. Later, they arrive at school, and Chihiro is worried that things might go wrong. Suddenly, Ranko shoots a tennis ball at Chihiro, and she gets jealous that Chihiro walks Ria to school. Chihiro cooks her, calling her a hard dude, and Ranko responds by kicking him. Meanwhile, Ria meets her fangirl, Shino, and Shino greets Ria like a simp and drops a tennis ball. Ria grabs it and goes to chase her but meets her teacher on the way there. The teacher starts teasing Ria for bumping bellies with a boy, and Ria gets flustered and pops the tennis ball with her zombie strength, shocking the teacher. Later, they play basketball, and Ria turns into Space Jam Michael Jordan due to her zombie strength, making all the girls scream at her performance. Meanwhile, Chihiro is worrying about Ria and his friends tell him that he changed. Chihiro asks Yasutaka, "What's the best dating spot?" and Yasutaka starts glitching at Chihiro out of jealousy. Meanwhile, Babu is living his life as a cat, and a car almost takes him to an isekai for the second time, but he manages to avoid death. The shitty driver starts apologizing to Babu and Babu sees a female cat in her car. Later, Ria walks home with Chihiro and tells her that Michael Jordan doesn't have shit on her and Chihiro worries about her using her body too much. It starts raining and both Ria and Chihiro take cover. Ria gets bored and plays in the rain while Chihiro chases her to the garden, where she plays around with snails unlike in her past, when her father would met her. Afterward, Babu goes and plays with the cat he met earlier. Babu uses his zombie strength and rizzes the female cat to bend over and have his babies. Meanwhile, Ria and Chihiro go home and Ria starts reminiscing her moments with Chihiro from the day they met until today. Ria asks Chihiro to cross-dress and join her at school. Then they enjoy the town's scenery and Ria starts getting sad and shit, telling Chihiro that she will treasure every second she spends with him as a zombie. Ria gets excited and runs down the stairs while Chihiro slips and Ria saves him. They both fold and Ria runs away. Later, Babu wakes up as a true zombie and almost eats the female cat. Babu starts eating a hydrangea leaves to stay conscious and goes to hug Ria. The next day, Ria and Chihiro leave for school and Babu watches them, wishing the best for their future. Suddenly, a fat bird falls from the sky and almost heated Babu. Meanwhile, on a plane, a blonde baddie is reading about zombies in the stages after becoming one. She arrives at Japan as a new character for the season 2 that doesn't exist. If you enjoyed this recap, then clap the like button and comment "Zombie girls are the best girls," as they will devour your meat even harder. Subscribe to the channel if you're yet to for more plot-filled animes. If you like anime recaps like this, then watch this video right here.